Hey y'all, Peyton Marine here coming from the Nova Open. Now I'm gonna go over the Games Workshop reveal. It's they've already put it online. Obviously, I'm here at the Warhammer community, so we're gonna kind of hit some of the different stuff they talked about and kind of give a little bit more, I guess, a little bit more of what they said in the actual seminar. It wasn't a whole lot of extra information. Um, and I haven't watched the Twitch stream or the live stream that they did, so I'm not sure what maybe they shared or what insights they gave on that end, but I can kind of give you what happened at least in the seminar. Um, yeah, so I guess we'll just dive right in. So coming over here to the Warhammer website, you got this Nova Open, catch all the major reveals. Click on that. It's just really just going to take you to a link to where you can rewatch the Twitch stream here, where basically you would just go over there because there's nothing else in this article. So we'll switch over now. The way the articles are released here is the order that they revealed stuff in. So um, you start here with the Leagues of Wotan, with Warhammer, then we went to the Underworlds, Age of Sigmar, some more Age of Sigmar, and then whoops, went the other way, and then a little bit more Age of Sigmar, and then Warhammer, the Horus Heresy. Definitely they built up and said the best for last, but anybody that follows rumors or any rumors and such like that, um, there was a pretty good rumor going around of the uh, big reveal that was Horus Heresy. But nothing else really too shocking. Obviously, I would say the Horus Heresy reveal was definitely the show, I don't know, showstopper, but definitely stole the show for sure. Um, it was, the I don't know, I would say the crowning achievement or whatever. Yeah, so start off here with the Leagues of Votan. So, as I said, they brought up the Leagues of Votan first, and I don't know, I'm actually a fan of them. I like the way they look. There's some that I like more than others. It's also kind of interesting how kind of different they all are in just units. So it's not almost like they have a set aesthetic across every unit, but there's kind of almost like a class or a caste system in the way that they have their armors and the way their units look. It's like some of the armor is very much more ornate and seems more for the actual, like, I don't know, career military in their society, and then you have like the ones that are more kind of makeshift, war suits, like it's mining equipment, but it's being repurposed and such like that. And then as you'll see with, I guess, their psyker that they revealed, it also looks almost fantasy-esque. So yeah, it was very interesting. But so let's take a look here though. They went through there. They had a pretty cool little video here. The artwork looks cool. I know a lot kind of, I don't know. I'm not too sure about this little thing that sticks up on some of the battle suits or whatever these suits are called, but I don't know. But you can see already, like, these suits and this like kind of have the same aesthetic, but this is, with especially with this, looks very much, I don't know, more fantasy sci-fi, if that makes sense, than this. This looks a bit more practical. So now the land fortress is actually the last thing that they showed in the preview, um, because it was definitely a build up to it. But as we look at it, my first impressions are it definitely looks like a mining type of vehicle crossed with the uh, Ninja Turtles cartoon from the 80s, 90s. It kind of just has like this shell type, I don't know, kind of aesthetic with the way it's segmented and everything. So it actually kind of is tempting. I like the Leagues of Votan. I would love to have an army of them. If that will ever happen, I don't know. Just like everything else, I feel like I mean, I'd have every single army if I could, and a lot of times I do get armies and then end up having to sell them because they sit around and I never do anything with them. Just don't have the time and have to focus on other projects. But I think I would almost go a kind of Ninja Turtle-esque theme with them, meaning like yellows, or more like I should say like the Turtle Van, not Ninja Turtles in general, but more Turtle Van-esque. Maybe even Ninja Turtle, green armor and all, but make this kind of like a yellow color, and then the shell here, that kind of green color like the Turtle Van, and then color the weapons like in an orange casing. Might look kind of cool actually. I might even try to Photoshop that just to get an idea of what that might look like. Do a color replacement real quick and see. I don't know. That might be kind of cool. So let's see here. They talk. Reading the article, I want to see if they talked about this. They didn't talk too much about. They just said it looks really cool. You know, it's got loads and loads of guns, and then they mention it has a big laser on top. Now, this looks like the alternate gun that you could have up top here. This, I think, is the laser kind of thing that he's talking about. It specifically said you know, it's got a big laser on top. I'll let you make that what you will. So my thought is, you know, draw a straight line so many inches and everything, you know, within the path of that takes some kind of a hit or something, you know. Let's see, it has chunky support tanks, overwhelming firepower, and can lug around 12 models. Yeah, so they also talk about the Iron Kin a little bit. They say that they're not treated any differently. They're not treated as not as like artificial intelligence, and that the Leagues of Votan will not uh, acknowledge them as artificial intelligence. They don't admit that that's what they are exactly, that they could just be robots, but they don't actually have intelligence. But in actuality, they do, and they hold the same status as any other kin. But at the same time, they also said during that they're kind of like they're what they didn't say like puppies, but they basically said they're kind of like, you know, like a pet dog or something, which almost makes it seem like they're of a lower status if you think it's a subservient animal. That's not really uh, equal, but anyway, I digress. All right, so then we have, I think this is the first character. Now, I, I thought we saw this before or something similar. Definitely had the same pose where he was straddling a rock and he was painted in red armor, but he had a different thing that kind of came straight over his head instead of side to side here. Um, but yeah, so this is, I guess, one of the first named characters, and I really like these helmets. I don't know, I really like the aesthetic of them, and I don't know, it looks really cool. I've always been a big fan of the oh, what were the Age of Sigmar ones called? The the overlords. I mean, it's prime example. I had bought a whole army of them when they had first came out, and they sat for forever until I sold them and never even opened the boxes. Unfortunately, I had this whole plan that I was going to actually kit bash them into a version of squads, which essentially is what these have become. The armor, everything is just very similar, and then just kind of sci-fied up a little bit. So, so this is a champion. Now, this guy looks pretty cool. Now, you can have some kind of a hammer kind of device or an axe. This heavy bolt power fist battery ram thing just looks pretty awesome in my opinion. Really like that. It'd be really cool if he comes with a helmet too of some kind, especially if it's like this cool helmet like that. But let's see here. What do they talk about? Those who climb the ranks become champions. Noble warriors are clad in a modified exo armor. They function as living battery rams. Okay, cool. All right, so this is one. This is where they first showed. I think so. They actually showed this guy first, then him, then this. So it's not the way this is kind of laid out is the order they went in, except for this. the land fortress that actually came last. So, whoops. All right, let's go here. So then the Iron Master. So again, they mentioned uh basically the same thing that, this here kind of reminds me of the what's the grunt, not grunt, what are they called? Runt Wrangler or the Grot Wrangler? Uh in the way that like this guy's kind of like leading, and he's kind of like a sort of a tech marine type of unit or person. And then he's got like all these like little helper robots with their little fix-it tools and stuff like that. So I believe that this is going to be kind of a unit uh providing, tech marine style support to the Votan. Um and again, like I said, they mentioned that these are, these AI style robots that are supposedly equal and all that, but overall not bad. I mean, we saw this Ironkin before. Yeah, so looks good. Now this right here, um, probably my favorite model that they showed. Now I'll look down, but they're not actually showing. I don't see, at least right now, the alternate head that they have for this guy, and it's actually a female head with these like kind of like white braids or dreadlocks or whatever that looks so good. Like this model here, I just love his posing. Um, I just like everything about Holloway. Like this right here, like I might just pick this up just for this guy. Like I don't know what I would do with these, but I would pick him up. And I mean, he's a great character to use if I was like playing like some kind of like RPG or whatever. This would be like my base model character right here. Like hands down, this guy is so cool. Definitely my favorite. This is probably my favorite model that I saw tonight, honestly. Yeah. And then they showed another one. So this is like they call it Berserk mole grenade launcher. So anything with the word Berserk, I guess, and it just means that you wear a tank top of some kind, like you don't wear sleeves, I guess. And then it has this grenade launcher, and then again, has an iron can that's just subservient, carrying around the water and the axe. I like how, like the other ones, the other berserkers, like the axe is turned on. So obviously it has the axe parts because it's powered on, but this is powered off. So you actually see, that's an energy blade on the other ones and not an actual blade that's there all the time. So that's pretty cool to see a deactivated one. Um, so then we have this picture here. Let's see here. The Berserks reveal the ace up there, metaphorical solution with the grenade launcher. Okay. So yeah, this is cool. I like this. Must be homemade, I think, or some other terrain that we might see, but it doesn't quite look like it is, unfortunately. I think it's just some homemade terrain that they're using. They've done that before. But yeah, it looks really cool. Now the whole point of this picture was it's supposed to, and of course, unfortunately, they've kind of uh put a big reveal that Nova Open sticker on this or logo or whatever, and you can't really see the Chaos Space Marines here, so you can get kind of an idea of scale. Now, there's kind of one here, and then you got these over here, but these are bigger models and kind of off in the background. So these ones right here actually gave you kind of a better sense of scale, but even then, it's still kind of hard because these are off to the side. They're not like right next to each other, and this guy's big suit here pretty much makes him normal size. One thing I do want to mention again, there's that little buggy thing too, so you can kind of see the size comparison there at least. Because seeing them side by side, like this thing looks massive, right? And not to say it's not huge, but these guys also aren't like this regular like Primaris size, so kind of hard to say how huge this is. But they also did say, and I kind of today afterward went to the Warhammer store so I could pick up that exclusive Primaris Captain. or champion or whatever they're calling him. But they did state that did you that while a lot of people reference and refer to them as reimagined squats, that don't call them that, and that uh, they may find that term offensive or derogatory. And I kind of took a second. I'm kind of like, huh, I wonder, like, okay, whatever. But then as I was waiting in the extremely long line to check out, and looking at some of the other stuff they had there, just looked at the Necromunda stuff, and remember that I saw they had the ironclad squats, and they actually call them squats in Necromunda. Uh, and their aesthetic is a bit different, and they are shorter, whatever, and have beards and all that kind of stuff. But uh, I honestly do think now, and would have to agree, because there are still squads in Necromunda, and they've had hired gun squads, and now they have kind of like their own, I don't know what you call them, gang in Necromunda. Um, these are not squads. Yes, they were, I guess, kind of imagined in a way, if you will, that they came from there, but this is, I don't think this is quite fair to say these are squats anymore, because technically speaking, squats still do exist and are a separate thing from the Voton. To the point where, like, even the lore, and they've talked about that, and more of it will be coming out, especially with the codex coming out in the box set. Um, they their lore is definitely different than the squats. The squats have been kind of similar, I guess, like they were miners and stuff like that, but their aesthetic was different. And apparently close to wiped out. Obviously not, since they're Necromunda, but almost wiped out by the Tyranids. But uh, the Return of the Kin is Warhammer history in the making, and the launch box brings the first of the new models to early access to the codex. So that right there. So I don't think we're getting the actual codex and the rest until October. Now, they said that these models will be released in September. But I don't think that means anything that we saw today. So when they first said that, I'm thinking, and I see this picture, I'm like, oh wow, we're gonna get one of everything in this picture at least. I don't know why I thought that at first, and then it's basically the first wave of models that they showed uh of these, and not even quite that much really, but it's I don't know, it's kind of a bare bones set with a special edition version of the codex, because it comes in the box. Yeah, really curious what that price tag's gonna look, but here it is, the Leagues of Votan army set. They've been doing this. They did it when it all started. Wow, I'm just trying to think now. When they brought Sisters of Battle back years ago and put them in plastic, that was the first time they did an army set box where they released like a special edition codex of this, and then they did it again with what else they do with Black Templars, and now these. I'm trying to think, did they do another one before? I can't think now, but I do know it was Black Templars and Sisters of Battle definitely got it. So here it is, the first wave of the um the new models. So basically, you're getting, it's really not a lot, honestly. It's kind of frustrating, but whatever. So you get that one new named character, which I think he's a named character, but from the other pictures with the guy in the red armor, I think it's an alternate build. I think you can build two different characters out of him. You get the champion, you get a squad of these pioneer bike things, and then two squads of basically troops. So you're in an HQ, I'd say an HQ, an elite. I don't know, but I would assume he's probably, if not an HQ, I doubt he's an HQ, he's a champion. He's most likely an elite, maybe heavy support, but I would say he's an elite, a fast attack, and two troop choices. So if you're gonna want to be able to field right away an army, you're gonna have to get probably two boxes of this in order to like have a decent sized. You'd have, again, I don't even know, four troop choices, two fast attacks, two elites. and head HQ or two HQs. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I definitely got to get on Warhammer Plus though. I want to see that battle report that they just did recently with these and see how they go. But there's the codex. So and then here they are. They talk about the map roadmap upcoming. So they this is coming September. That's been confirmed. So within this month, this will come up for pre-order. So my guess is probably mid-month, probably because I think this weekend we're gonna have the new Kill Team box set go up, and not sure what the following week will be. I it might be Votan. It might be Votan for pre-order and then released by the mid-month maybe. But I could also see mid-month pre-order and then released, the following week or close to the end of the month. But anyway, then there's an Astra Militarum Codex and then a World Eaters Codex coming out. So a lot of chaos stuff coming up. All right, so a lot of talking there. Let's move on to the next one. Probably gonna move fairly quickly. Let me go back. I accidentally clicked that. Fairly quickly through like these Age of Sigmar stuff. I'm gonna open them all in a row here. Just it's not my thing, not my jam. So not really all, I don't know, too impressed or care or worried about it. Just want to refresh this because I saw this earlier that they put another article up. All right, so we'll do the Age of Sigmar, and then I'm gonna skip over the Horus Heresy thing and go to this real quick, and then come back to this last. Um, they did show this last, and there was one of the models was leaked or something online, and so then they're like, "Well, we'll show you the rest of them." And we saved it for last because they're like, "What else could we show after seeing something like this?" So it's like, I don't know, kind of a build up, but still like not as impressive as this. And honestly, before I jump back into the rest, it's kind of I get it. I get the hype. Like they always got to hype everything up, but really, aside from if you didn't hear the rumors, and even if you did, it's still pretty cool to see the new Horus model. But um, I don't know. I definitely have felt like uh I'm trying to think of the last Novas I've gone to. I think I've been to all three of them now because the last 2 years were canceled because of COVID, and um yeah, and so I mean I was probably gonna miss them anyway because of my work schedule, but actually didn't, so I guess there's a silver lining for me for COVID canceling it, so I didn't miss out. But uh yeah, I don't know. It really hasn't been the three now that I've been to at Nova have I don't know, they haven't been as crazy shocking as I would like them to be. They definitely hype them up, and obviously you want to create hype for your product and all that. I get that. And not everything's going to hit a home run for every person every time. Um, but I don't know. I just kind of wish there would have been. I don't even know. I guess the biggest reveal that I want to see or hear or be about, like be there for, that I think would be cool is um if they I don't know, if they would just be a little bit more like, okay, here's Horus and here's our legit like plan, or here's like another like almost like if they would show like a work in progress of a concept model of the next Primarch or something like that. Like that would be kind of cool, I think. But anyway, let's go into this. So we got Warhammer Underworld. So if you're into that, they got a Gore Chosen. I guess this is been a while since, I don't know. There's been pretty tired. It's getting kind of late here. Chaos in the underworlds, and more specifically, these are corn related ones, I guess. So I don't know. this is your thing. That's what they look like. This is like some guy about to be or being possessed or something. This is like the leader, some dude with the thing on fire. They didn't really talk too much about this. I don't, I just kind of like, I guess they kind of read the room. There wasn't like a whole bunch of loud cheers for it. They were just kind of like, woohoo. And then that's pretty much it. Um, yeah. So that's that. So if you like that, there you go. You got some corn models coming to the what is this, Underhive or Underworld? Underhive. All right, 8 more Age of Sigmar. Now this was the Blood Pelter or Blood Pelt Hunter. It's an org, org, right? And I don't know. Okay, I guess it's like a one-off model, and he's supposed to be pretty powerful because all does is hunt monsters all the time. So yeah, there's that. So if you're into that, there you go. Again, after they showed him, they kind of showed the roadmap ahead for Age of Sigmar. So we're past the summer now. We're looking at uh the ogre something coming out, and then a Sons of Behemoth, which is like the big giants coming out, which they have a model in the next preview event, and then the Slaves of Darkness coming out, which I think they're coming with an art. I think this is gonna be like their an army box set as well. All right, so they got King Brood or something. I guess he's a giant that was there at the beginning of Age of Sigmar's creation of everything and the big war, and he's got like I don't know some kind of grudge against Stormcast Eternals. They said this is the biggest Age of Sigmar model that they have in plastic. I guess there's a bigger model in resin, but this is the biggest plastic model for Age of Sigmar. Um, it's definitely, very interesting. Like these, again, Age of Sigmar is not really my thing, and the Giants especially, I would have to be like, yeah, okay. Uh, I don't know. It definitely looks like it would be quite the challenge to paint with all that skin tone. That's definitely something they had like more views, like a rotating view in the preview. I was just thinking like the weathering or the coloring they did on like the knees and the elbows and knuckles is with the fingernails, all that is yeah, really cool, really good paint job. But again, not really my thing. Another thing you can't really see is there's like these veins going across like the top of the hands that were painted just amazingly. I was very amazed by that. I don't know if they'll kind of show in here, not really. And then there's like these little, I don't know what they are, gremlin-y things. But yeah. So that's that guy. All right, going into the Slaves of Darkness. Now there are some cool models in here. Okay, yeah. So here's the box, uh, army box, and here's the models. I don't know if they got. Okay, cool. They got some more pictures. So they got this new possessed demon prince, but it has these different heads you can put on it, which kind of go along with the different chaos gods for the most part. My favorite is definitely this like werewolfy looking thing. Like I would definitely do that one. Uh, but again, Age of Sigmar and Chaos isn't really my jam, so but that is my favorite head of those. Here's the new I don't know what they're called, Chosen, Chaos Chosen, or yeah, I think they're Chaos Chosen. Yeah, I mean they're impressive models for sure. They look cool. Um, but yeah, that's about it really. There's these things though. Uh, what do they call them? It doesn't say. I mean, they're minotaurs or something similar. But these things look really cool to me. These are probably my favorite of the Slaves of Darkness that they've shown. And in the preview, they definitely had some cool angles and stuff so you could see everything. It looked really cool. They had one where like the guy actually looked like he was like blowing the horn and like I don't know. These guys here, this is the my favorite part of the Slaves of Darkness stuff. And then there's the Battle Tome, and all that's going to come later in the winter time. So they mentioned later in the year. Okay, so quick look at this, and then we'll go into the Horus Heresy stuff, and then I'll kind of wrap this up with my last rambling thoughts. And I need to get to bed because I've got some stuff going on tomorrow, and I'll try to kind of make a I may do a video tomorrow. I'll do part of the video and kind of link it together because I got some stuff going on tomorrow, but not enough that I think can make a standalone video. But anyway, going on to the Corn Berserkers. So I'm not sure which one was leaked online, but anyway, so here's the new Corn Berserkers. So an update to a very old kit. It's been a staple of Corn armies for forever. Um, and yeah, so they've gotten some new ones. They look really good. Uh, I will say this one is my favorite one. I can only assume because I don't know, its face kind of looks like a duck bill, and it kind of reminds me of this Mighty Ducks cartoon show from the 90s where it was like actual like ducks that were like they're like alien ducks, but then like made it to Earth and became like these kind of like superheroes, but they were really just more advanced technology and they would play hockey during the day as the Mighty Ducks and then fight uh you know I don't know bad guys and stuff. So that's what it kind of reminds me of, and so for some reason I like that. It just looks cool to me. But yeah, I don't know. They look cool. I really like the chain swords that they have with the like blade and then chain sword. That's always cool to me. Got some more like the mouth with the teeth there is always cool. And yeah, here we go again. And I think we're back, just kind of circling around. But yeah, that's them. Yeah, it's see here if they talk. I don't can't really say. Yeah, they didn't say when they'll be coming out. I don't know if they're gonna wait until the World Eater stuff comes out this winter or not, but they might. Not sure. All right, so the last one, Horus Ascended, right? Now, uh, definitely I would say the highlight right here. I mean, this model looks huge. It's massive. If you read the article, and they even mentioned there that it will be resin. One thing I didn't stay for the whole Q&A after. I had to go. I wanted to get to the store to make sure I got one of the exclusive event models because I guess they opened the store and then it was. I was in that line for like another hour to get this model. That's the only thing I got. I looked to see if they had Alpha Legion stuff, but they only had some shoulder pads and then I was really hoping they had some more Headhunter upgrade kits, but they didn't. And surprisingly, the Alpha Legion was the most uh I don't know, sold out of everything. Like they had very, very little to none of the Alpha Legion, sadly. Aha, I know you could always say, well, every other chapter is Alpha Legion. But anyway, uh yeah, so they have uh this model coming out. But what I was gonna say is I didn't stay and see if they asked, and I also didn't stay and ask myself if they would be getting rid of his old model anytime soon, or will they both be available for a little while together? Um, I mean, it would make sense, that they start to phase out the old ones. Uh, but I don't know. And it sounds like they definitely 100% basically confirmed, although they were trying to not confirm, but then the article here it goes ahead and confirms that they're going to be making the Primarchs again. Although they were only hinting at the ones that fell and were ascended or transformed in some way, getting a new model. Yet in this article, it definitely
suggest that all of them are going to be getting a new model, uh, which makes sense because if they're going to do anything, uh, redoing all of them just makes sense because some of the models need updates and are pretty old, and some of them are newer and look just fine. But I mean, they'll probably be the last ones to get updated. Now, I think was it not Abaddon? What's his name? Angron was the first Primarch to be done in the character series, but then now Horus is the first. It was a little frustrating. Uh, well, I won't go into that. I don't want to go into too many spoilers if you haven't read the various Primarch book, so I'll just skip over that comment for now. And if you are interested to know what I'm talking about, definitely pick up the Alfarius book and then jump over to my review, which I'm still working on. I'm still reading 2 other Alpha Legion short stories. And then I'm going to do a kind of a compilation book review of Alfarius and those 2 short stories. But anyway, yeah, you'll kind of get an idea what I'm talking about when you go there. So anyway, so Horus, I guess, is the first because he's the one that started the whole Horus heresy, right? Uh, but my only concern about this model, not the model itself, but the rules, they definitely made it sound like this guy is not only an army of him, like in and of himself, but boosts and buffs your current, like, Sons of Horus to a crazy extent. Which to me is like, this guy better cost so many points. So he's only brought in like big games because otherwise I just feel like he's just gonna roll everybody. Like that was one of the issues I always had when playing 40K and I go into tournaments and oh, what was it? Mortarion. That guy, you could just do nothing but shoot every single thing, small gun, big gun, in between gun at him, all 4, 5, 6, 7, however many turns before you get tabled. You want, and it's like you cannot take a wound off of him. Um, which is so frustrating because it's like, yeah, I get it. He's a Primarch, he's a demon and Nurgle and all that, but uh, that it was so annoying. And there's only like I can't remember 2,000 point tournament, and any and I usually I don't play these crazy power units for that reason, and so because I like to have fun, and I guess some people fun is them bringing the most OP stuff and just rolling everybody because winning is fun, right? But this is my worry though with this guy, and there's such a huge up upturn or heightened interest or people now wanting to play horsehair and get into it with 2.0, which is good, but also uh, I'm worried that the added attention is going to bring about its downfall that we basically saw back when 7th edition was a thing. That's my biggest worry is this is going to start to snowball into bigger issues. So hopefully his rules and his points match for what he does. Like hopefully he's very expensive to the point where if you take him, you're basically taking like 3/4 of your army or something, or half your army in points with just him on the table. At the lower points, I should say, like if you're playing a lower point game. But I even feel like he should be somewhat taxed at 3 because most Horus Heresy, from what I understand, the kind of the standard is like you don't want to go too much below 2,000 points. So like 3,000 is not unheard of, and it seems to be kind of like the standard for a lot of stuff. So I would hope that 3,000 he's probably more affordable to take in that list, but it's still a decent enough points tax. You're kind of like Yeah, well, he's pretty powerful, so I'll take it. I wouldn't want to see him in anything less than 3,000 points. Uh, Army list, I just feel like it'd be too much. He'd be too powerful. Even if you brought him in like I said, like a lower game, and he ends up being like three-fourths your army. I don't know. We don't have the rules, but I just have this feeling they're gonna way OP him in the rules. So, but I guess the only thing that would make him OP is if he's also cheap. So we'll see. But uh, yeah. So here's kind of a size comparison to his two models. Um, yeah. Looks cool. Now, I had this thought, and I'm not going to be able to do it, especially if they're going to start discontinuing them. I would wanted to try and maybe get each of the Primarch models, just as centerpieces and paint them up and have all the Primarchs. That'd be really cool. But I would want to get them like now during their like pre-heresy to heresy versions before the ones that get ascended or whatever. But like I said, there's just not enough time and or money to do that. So probably not going to. I'll just stick with the Primarchs that I like, which is Vulcan and Alfarius. Which of those two, I have both of those. And I've had Vulcan longer because I've had them both since when their models were released. But Vulcan's at least he's put together and everything, but he's not painted, not even primed. Because I've always been nervous with him. But I started with Alfarius, and I really like the way Alfarius turned out. And when I get some time, I am going to start looking at and start chipping away at Vulcan. But I also want to get the Lion because that was technically Dark Angels were my first army, so it'd be nice to have him as well. But other than those three, I would say I I don't see getting any of the others. As far as new released models, I definitely will get those three again because those are my favorite Primarchs. With Alpharius being after these last books, Alpha Legion is my legion. Like I love them, and Alpharius is my favorite, followed very closely by Vulcan, and then soft spot, of course, for the Dark Angels, being my first army when I didn't know better. uh, so yeah, those Primarchs, however, those are re-released will be really cool. And now with Alpharius, like I don't even know, like maybe the model I have now is Omegon, or vice versa. They'll release Omegon or Alpharius. I don't know. We don't know, but either way. But yeah, the detail is pretty crazy. So, what does it say? We'll give you more information on Horus Ascended when he's available for pre-order. Till then, check back the Novo Hub. Okay, but right here, rendered high quality resin. Representing each of the primers, so he's the first in the new character series from Four Worlds, representing each of the Primarchs at the height of the heresy, whether they're fully under the sway of chaos or rallying to defend the Imperium. So right there, we're getting both. We're not just getting the ones that ascended, even though in the the preview they only said like, oh, it'd be really interesting to see what they may have in store if we're going to see other ascended Primarchs, which kind of suggests only the chaos ones. But this here is saying no, all of them that ascended will get a new model, but then all those that didn't, you'll basically get to see them kind of rallying to defend or in some kind of situation where they're coming to defend the Imperium. So that'll be really cool. All right, well, I guess that is it. That is all the articles. That's kind of my thoughts, opinions on everything that we saw. Again, uh, I think the biggest thing, like I was definitely excited to see this. Is kind of sad. This is the only Horus Heresy preview review or whatever you say that we got. Um, and then, like I said, this has been rumored for a while, as well as the Voton being released in September and their Army box and Codex coming out. Then, so no release details on when the rest of those Army items will be coming out, but a very rudimentary Army will be releasing in September with a Codex. Um, those were kind of the two biggest things really. And then I get the Age of Sigmar stuff might have been big, but I don't really know because I don't really have my pulse on that community because I'm not an Age of Sigmar or Underworlds person. And the highlight for me is definitely that I can't even think what that Psyker, that Botan Psyker wizard dude. Like that model is just so cool to me. Uh, it would just be like a fun little side project just to get him and paint him up and I don't know, give me some reason to go play some RPG of some kind where I can bring him in. But yeah, that's it for now, I guess. Like I said, stay tuned. I'll be making some other videos, doing some other kind of reviews of what I've got going on. This is definitely a different Nova for me this year, as I'm not actually going to be playing any well, yeah, no tabletop gaming. As weird as it sounds, I'm actually in some board game events, mostly because those are kind of they're like free or they're very minimal cost. Like I said, I didn't really have any time to get army together for the events here, at least the ones I wanted to play. Because I definitely have enough of my star commanders. I could have brought them, but uh, it's also been a very long time since I played, or I feel like I just need to kind of like take some time and just kind of relearn everything anyway. But I still had the chance to get a room and a convention pass, so I wanted to be here. And so, like I said, I'll be doing some seminars. Some of these board game events are interesting because they're games I've never played, and the whole point is you basically learn how to play the game for the first hour, and then you go into a 2-hour tournament playing the game you just learned. So that should be interesting. And then like I said, some seminars and stuff like that. So I'll be doing kind of like recaps. I probably won't do another recap until what is tomorrow? Thursday, Friday. So maybe Friday. So then I'll have a couple seminars and they're called learnaments. Learnament, like you learn it and you do the tournament. So it's a learnament. Uh, so by then I'll have a couple of those and some seminars and kind of give my thoughts and ideas on how those go and the value of them. I've never done those because usually when you do other events, it was kind of frustrating. There's ones I wanted to do in the past, but haven't been able to because I'm doing 40K events or whatever, and they take up a large majority of the time. That you don't have time to go to these seminars and maybe learn something new from the people. So should be interesting. All right, well, I guess that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed my long ramblings about everything going on. If you have any questions or thoughts or anything on everything that was revealed, definitely leave them in the comments below. Maybe I can answer something that I forgot to mention here that they expanded on in the seminar. Or the preview rather, they didn't really expand a whole lot on much. Everything was really just presented at face value. So for the most part, everything that's in the articles and you know that we see is basically what we saw. We just got to see it an hour earlier. So um, yeah, it was pretty fun though. Still cool. It's nice to be in a room with everyone and experience that all together and the excitement that everybody had. So all right, well, thanks again for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you haven't already, please check out the links below. You can see the Facebook, Instagram, and I think my Twitch is on there. Although I haven't done any streaming on Twitch in a while. But anyway, check out those links below. Definitely appreciate a like, a subscribe, and until next time.